Yo, before we get into the guide, I just want to show you guys my match history. Look at this, 2.8 average. Am I not cracked? But more importantly, check out this game right here. Prismatic double trouble into 2 healthy double Taliyah. I ended the game with like 80 HP and 50 gold left over. This is in GM, by the way. This is not like a Smurf account. But check out this game after that, though. I have a full legendary board. 2-star everything. Full carry Belveth, full carry Gwen, full carry Ari, triple tank Scion, Shrink Meccano. Guess what I lost to? Double Taliyah. So yeah, let's just get straight into the guide. This comp may seem straightforward, but I think there's a ton of nuance to this comp that makes it really fun to play. Before we get into everything though, let's just do some review. Taliyah has 2 parts to her spell. First is her passive, and second is her active. What her passive does is that whenever anyone gets knocked up, she's going to deal magic damage to them. And then her active makes it so that she knocks up 1 unit, and then if she has multicaster, now she's knocking up 2 units, right? She synergizes really well with Set, because they're both 2-cost units, and Set has the ability to knock up to 2 units as well. And so whenever he knocks up units, Taliyah can proc her passive and deal magic damage to those people. By that same logic, she synergizes really well with a second Taliyah. The second Taliyah can now knock up 2 units, and your main Taliyah is gonna proc her passive and deal magic to them as well. And so if you really think about it, having double Taliyah doesn't double your base damage, it actually quadruples your base damage because they can proc the passives off each other, if that makes sense. And so for this comp to work, you need really 1 out of 3 of these augments. The first one is Double Trouble for obvious reasons. You can run 2 Taliyahs, 2 sets. And the second one is 2 Healthy. This is a bit of a weaker alternative to Double Trouble, but it's kind of the same concept, right? So by running 2 sets, 2 Taliyahs, now you're getting 444 HP on everyone. And then when you throw in Teemo and Swain, now you get 666 HP on everyone. That's more than any prismatic. So 2 healthy is pretty much just double trouble if you really think about it. But instead of getting a bunch of different stats, you just get a bunch of HP. And the second thing is Portable Forge. This one's a little bit different, but the reason this is here is because you can get the item Trickster's Glass. Trickster's Glass, if you throw this on Taliyah, you get a clone of Taliyah, and so either you can run 3 Taliyahs, or you can run 2 Taliyah 3s, and that's incredibly strong as well. So it's pretty much the same comp, but slightly different. But let's focus on the Double Trouble variant. And so to itemize Taliyah, you're going to have 2 separate Taliyahs, and you're going to itemize them differently. For your main Taliyah, the primary focus is going to be first getting a Gunblade. The damage on this comp is incredibly high, and so all you really need is a Gunblade to make sure that your Taliyah stays alive and your frontline gets a little bit of support with the Omnivamp. And then also, because you're not running many synergies, your base AP on Taliyah is going to be very low, and so you really need some flat AP from her to give to her. So either Rabadon's or an Archangel's is going to be your next focus. And then after that, you can focus on any type of damage item. So Guard Breaker, Dual Gauntlet, Giant Slayer, anything. So Gunblade into flat AP into damage item. And the reason you don't need any type of mana generation on this Taliyah is because you're only going to focus on her passive damage. You don't care if she casts or not, but whenever anyone knocks them up, all your passive damage is going to go into those people. And then secondly, you're going to have this Taliyah as your caster. So you really want Shojin plus Rageblade is really strong on her, or Shojin plus Shiv is really good, or you can just run blue buff just to make sure that this Taliyah is knocking up as many people as possible. And then Set is going to be your main tank. And so the most important item is the Ionic Spark, right? So that you can get Shred. And then after that, you just want any type of damage or tank items. And then Vow is really good just so that you can get an early cast off and then deal a ton of damage. And then, so to round out this comp, you have Teemo. Teemo is just going to be multicaster bot. Don't upgrade Teemo to 3-star. Don't throw items on Teemo. He's pretty much just a trait bot. And same thing with Swain. Swain is really strong in stage 2 and stage 3 in this comp especially, but he falls off really hard in stage 4 and 5. And so don't upgrade Swain to 3-star, don't throw items on Swain. In some cases you can sell Swain on stage 5 and so on. So just focus on 2 Taliyahs and 2 Setts. So the way level progression works on this comp is that on stage 2, you have the option of playing strongest board and trying to save as much HP as possible. Just playing any kind of generic sorcerer or void combination. And then on 3-2, you can transition to this board. Or you can full open and play a really weak board to guarantee a 5 loss streak into stage 3. And then on 3-2, if you're offered one of these augments, you can consider pivoting into this comp right here. Because all you really need to do is on 3-2, level to 6, and then roll down for this comp. At least 2 copies of Sett, Swain, Teemo, and at least 2 copies of Taliyah, right? I also want to mention, having 2 copies of Taliyah is going to be way better than having 3 copies of Taliyah. Because when you get 3 copies of Taliyah, now you're going to get a 3-star, or a 2-star Taliyah. And that's going to greatly decrease your damage. And so a nice strategy to do is when you see your 3rd copy of Taliyah in your shop, what you do is that you wait for the fight to start and then buy the Taliyah. And so that way you can buy the Taliyah out of the shop, and then the fight after that, the round after that, you can continue to roll and look for your 4th Taliyah. So now you have a 2-star Taliyah and then a 1-star Taliyah. And that's going to keep your damage up. Because when you only have 3 copies of Taliyah, your damage greatly decreases. And so that's the best way to play this comp with Double Trouble, to make sure that you constantly have 2 Taliyahs. And then you're going to just slowly get back to 50 gold, level 6, and then you're going to slowly roll down. Make sure you hit Taliyah 3-star, and then if you have Double Trouble, now you can get your 2nd Taliyah, and then you level to 7, 8, and so on. If you have 2 healthy, ideally you sit at 2 Taliyahs 2-star, and that's going to be perfectly fine. You don't get 3 Taliyahs, because once you get a 3-star Taliyah. When you get 3-star Taliyah, you lose the ability to find a new Taliyah. And so that's going to greatly decrease your damage again. So the best strategy is just to sit on 6 copies of Taliyah. So 2 2-star Taliyahs, and then from then on you level to 6, 7, and 8. And so here's what 6, 7, and 8 look like. This is level 8 board. You're going to throw in Azir and Nasus so that you can get Shurima. And this is just so that Nasus is incredibly a tanky unit. He's going to give Sett a bunch of tankiness through Juggernaut. And now you get Shurima so that Taliyah gets both tankiness and damage. And if you cannot find Azir and Nasus, good alternatives are going to be Jarvan, just so that you can get some frontline, and he's a strategist. Other people that knock people up are going to be Yasuo. Yasuo has a knock up as well. Sion is the best +1 unit. If you have an extra slot and you have Sion, he has the ability to knock up to 3 to 4 units, right? So this is a really good option. Or K'Sante has the ability to knock people up, but he's kind of trash. So unless you can find 2-star K'Sante, I wouldn't consider that really. But those are your options for knockups. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this guide. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace.